Hi y'all, I'm Meredith, and as much as I love to take my kids on adventures, sometimes we have to stay home. So that's when I bring in all the books to highlight how they can have an adventure from the comforts of home through a great story. So I'm highlighting storybooks and chapter books that your kids are going to love and truly inspiring their inner adventurer. The newest series for our youngest readers, Lift the Flap, Play Hide and Seek. This is Hide and Seek with Tiger, has great flaps throughout as kiddos are truly playing hide and seek with the animals. It's so well made and beautifully done that my young man who loves to play hide and seek is totally engaging in this story. So definitely check out this new series as well. The That's Not My books have always been tried and true, well-loved storybooks. This is That's Not My Dragon with touchy-feely textures on each page as you go through the ones that do not belong to you. So That's Not My Dragon, its tail is too prickly, until you get to the end and you discover That's My Dragon, its wings are so scaly. Loads of different titles in this series. You're bound to find one that will be loved for a very long time. The Peek Inside of Fairy Tale books are so beautifully made and really well done. This is Beauty and the Beast. It has gorgeous cutouts and details all throughout this book with simpler versions of the fairy tale, so it's real manageable for young readers. And they're so well made, your kiddo is going to fall in love with this world that they see in the books, and there are lots of different titles in that series. Muddle and Match is super fun for any young reader. It has lots of detail throughout, so this one is Muddle and Match Monsters, and it introduces alliteration. Marvin, the magnificent monster, makes mighty milkshakes for his massive mates. And then kiddos can maneuver these flaps to create a unique story and character that switches it up and makes it funny and hilarious each time that they're reading it. Lots of different titles in that series as well. Another book about bears was introduced for the fall, all about bears who are fed up with being the character in the story, and they want to see other animals come into the mix. So it's very funny, it's a very interactive book as your kiddos, your readers are interacting with the bear and get to create other stories that involve lots of new animals. If you are a fan of Nibbles the Book Monster, which if you aren't yet, you will be, because this is one of our favorite series, all about Nibbles who eats his way through familiar stories in this book. Like this one, he's going to eat his way through Goldilocks and the Three Bears with holes and cutouts all throughout. It's very funny and super interactive. We also have other versions of Nibbles as well. And from the same author, one of my kiddos' favorites is called Beast Feast, which is all about a monster beast who is inviting his friends to eat dinner. And through the story, you're able to interact with the invitations, which my kiddos think are hilarious, and it's very fun and a sweet story as well. True to form, these books are always some of our favorites. If you are familiar with Luna Loves Library Day, we introduced Luna Loves Art, which is an adventure through an art gallery. And it's such a sweet story about including friends and learning how they can understand each other better, especially using the language of art. So such a sweet one to introduce to your kiddos for this fall. One of my favorite adventure stories is The Prince and the Witch and the Thief and the Bears, about a young boy and his dad who are creating a story at bedtime. So this is very fun and funny and will definitely inspire your inner storyteller. Speaking along those lines, The Biggest Story is great for inspiring storytelling, all about a young boy who is asked by his mom, who has to do something on her to-do list to create his own story. And when he does, it becomes one of the biggest stories. And even at the end, it includes tips for how your kiddos can create their own biggest story. So it's really fun. Where Happiness Lives has been one of our favorites for a while now. It is all about learning how you can be grateful for what you have and not necessarily look to what you are missing out on. So it's a sweet story with lots of beautiful illustrations as well. So if your kiddos are maybe having a difficult season, this could be a one to help them to think a little bit more on the bright side. Now for your independent readers, I wanted to highlight a few of my favorite go-to series, like our Read with Usborne books that are leveled readers. Levels 2, 3, and 4, even number 1, has so many different nonfiction and fiction story tales, even classic stories that you would be familiar with. See the Stories of Thor for that level 4 reader, and these are going to be the jumpstart into reading independently, just to give you a feel of the inside. Now, these leveled readers are great for building on those skills for newly independent readers. And then once they are independent, awesome chapter books, like our Bear Grylls Adventures books, which are really fun, have pictures throughout all about Bear Grylls who steps into their story to help them overcome obstacles in their path. Lightning Girl is a fun new chapter book series that is all about a young superhero. These books are geared towards readers ages 9 and up. And then a new series, Kenzie and Max, about two brother and sister crime fighting pair. So this is a fun one to introduce to your older independent readers. And then a few of my favorites are our illustrated storybooks or originals, like The Railway Children or Around the World in 80 Days. These are so beautifully made, complete stories with illustrations throughout. Definitely check out this series for those older readers and for reading aloud. I hope this helps as you're exploring how to go on an adventure from home.